friends, how are ya? What's up? If you clicked on this video, you really care. So you're the real MVP and I love you and true friends. Thank you. I have been getting a lot of like random questions and DMs and stuff like that lately. So I was like, it could be cool to do just a general Q&A video and see what questions pop up and answer them. So I put a little question thing on my Insta story and then on the community comment section of YouTube, and I got a lot of really good questions. So I'm gonna answer as many of them as possible. If I didn't answer your question, they were either similar to another question, so I combined it, I addressed it in a previous video, or I'm going to address it in my later video this week. I'm going to make a video kind of talking about my general life story, how I moved to LA, my faith, how I was raised, how it shaped me, kind of my testimony in a way, because I've had a lot of people message me about that and be like, are you Christian? Like, how does that play into your life? And I want to be more open and vocal about that. So that will be coming out on Thursday, and then next Monday, I have another wedding video coming out, just general, where do I start planning? A lot of people have asked for that as well. I know the videos this week aren't necessarily gonna like get a ton of views, but I also like just getting to dive deeper with y'all and kind of get to know each other a little bit more, because it's cool to see how we are similar. I love reading through the comments when people are like, oh my gosh, I'm that way too. Sorry, I also look kind of gross today. I've been nannying all morning, so I haven't even showered yet today. Jumping into it. How long have you been acting? I started theater when I was really young, but I signed with my first agent actually when I was 9. So I'm almost 22, math is hard, so 13 years. I have been a represented actor for 13 years, which is blowing my mind. I thought I'd be further along by now, but God has a plan. I got this question a lot, but how do you stay in shape? I have my degree in nutrition, so I really believe that like 90% of staying in shape is just eating healthy, and I try to work out as much as possible. Before the wedding I got really into Pilates, but now I'm trying to be more financially responsible, so I can no longer go to those reformer Pilates classes. So I try to go to the gym. To be honest, it doesn't happen very often, and I end up doing like a 15-minute YouTube video workout at home. Yeah. What are your favorite YouTube channels? I love Mr. Kate. I love Aspen Obard. I love the Try Guys. And I love on the Bon Appetit channel, specifically Claire's Pastry Chef tries to create a gourmet blank. I don't really like the other videos, but I love watching her try to create gourmet things. Are you religious? Yes, I'm a Christian, and like I said, I'm going to be diving into that a lot further later in this week. Was it hard to get your degree? Kind of. I did the majority of my degree online. As soon as I started going to ASU, I was 100% an online student, and for a lot of people that's pretty hard because you have to be on top of yourself to get things done. For me, I am very type A, so it wasn't that hard to get my work done, but I was just juggling so many other things that made it kind of hard for me. My camera died, but we back. Any challenges to being married so far? It's funny because when we were dating and engaged, I would go 5 days without seeing him in a row almost every week, but he was just gone on a trip, and for some reason it was terrible. I missed him so much. I think it's a good sign. I think it means that I care. I think that all of my emotions are just amplified, which is a good thing, but it could also be a challenge. How do you take care of your skin? Okay, I always have a list of videos that I really want to make on my phone at all times, and my skincare routine is on there. But I will just say that the thing that really changed my life was Differin. I'm about to sound like an actual ad, so I'm sorry. I had the worst breakout a couple years ago, and my dermatologist prescribed Differin, and it really actually like changed my skin completely. Now they have over the counter. It's a third of the strength though, but it's also great because you don't have to make an appointment, pay copay, whatever. So highly recommend Differin. Will you have kids? Yes, I want to have kids, but not for a long time. Like, I don't even want to think about kids for at least 7 years till I'm 28. I guess 6 years, and have them at about 28 if I have my ideal way. Nannying and babysitting has really just made me realize how hard kids are. I don't want this to sound bad, but I don't want to sacrifice acting. It is my love. I want to make sure I have kids at a time in my life where I can pursue what I love and have kids and give a lot of time to my kids. So I want to make sure that I'm in a financial spot to where when an audition pops up, I can pay for childcare to watch my kids so I can go on those auditions. Also, this is a very unrealistic goal in LA, but I really want to try to be a homeowner before I have kids. A 3-bedroom home in Pasadena, which is outside of LA, is about $1 million. So Probably not gonna happen, but it's still a goal. Who knows? I'm gonna shoot for it. We'll see what happens. Where did the name Michel come from? Now, if you don't know, my name was Christiane Michel Jancy. I always went by my middle name, Michel. I never went by Christiane. My dad is Christopher Michael, so that's how I got my name, Christiane Michel. Michel is not really a real name. It is very popular in France. It's Michel, and it is the equivalent of Michael, so it's intended to be a male name. I don't think my parents really researched it, but I actually love Michel. Legally, I had to drop. Well, I didn't have to. I could have been Christiane Michel Smith, but I love Jancy, so I wanted to keep Jancy. I was intending on making my name Michel Jancy Smith. Changing your first name is so dang hard. So now I'm legally Christiane Jancy Smith. So Michel is actually legally nowhere in my name anymore, but I still go by Michel. Someone else asked why I go by Michel. My parents chose it, but I'm glad. I don't necessarily love the name Christiane. I don't feel like it fits me. I do feel like Michel fits me. What's your dream role? Someone else also asked, is there a role you really wish you got and you didn't? And my whole life, I've said over and over, it's even on TASTEMADE, it's everywhere, that I have wanted to be Nancy Drew, and I never thought that they would remake it. CW is just now about to start producing a Nancy Drew show, and I freaked the heck out. I got an audition, I sent in a tape. I didn't hear anything because I was on my honeymoon and I couldn't go in person, and they gave the role to someone else who is my age, just got engaged, just graduated college. She's as much of a nobody as I am, and I usually am pretty emotionally detached from roles, but I cried hard. It was my life dream for so long, specifically to be Nancy Drew, and I never thought the opportunity would come. So the fact the opportunity came, I was like overwhelmed. I was like, this is my dream. I didn't think that they would remake this again, and I was kind of bummed because I knew chances were so slim. I was also mad at myself because they happened to be casting only when I was gone on my honeymoon, and that was really hard, but God has a plan. There's many other roles in the world. Maybe one day I will produce my own Nancy Drew, and I'll definitely be too old by then, but whatever, Nancy Drew grown up. Favorite thing about yourself? I like this question because I don't usually like to talk about the good things in myself. I feel like it sounds like weird and conceited, but it's actually healthy to appreciate yourself. And I would say the favorite thing about myself is I am very motivated. I don't sit still very often. I am usually thinking of ways to further myself, whether it be further my career or further my learning or anything like that. I like that about myself. Good job, Michel. How did you meet your husband? Someone else asked, and at what age? I might actually do a whole video, try to get Brooke to be in a video and about how I met him, but people wouldn't often guess this. We met on an app. We met on a Christian dating app called CrossPaths. I don't even know if it's still around anymore. It was not a popular app at all. I was 19, he was 23. We went on our first date at Blue Bottle, which is my favorite coffee shop in LA. And then we went on like 6 more dates within the next 10 days. And our 3rd, 4th, and 5th date was him helping me move. And my mom was in town, so he met my mom and helped me move very quickly. What age did you move away from home? I'm gonna talk about this more on the video later this week, but I moved away from home at 18. I moved 1,500 miles away to a place I knew nobody, which is kind of crazy. Tips on finding a community for people that don't really go out or drink or do anything like that. Highly recommend really plugging into a church. Attending a church is one thing, but plugging in and serving on a church really makes a world of a difference for me. That's when you become really ingrained in that community and you make those really close connections and you see them week after week, and there's Bible studies and things like that. And that has been pretty much my whole friend group. Why do you choose not to drink? For a lot of reasons. A lot of alcohol is not gluten-free, and I have celiac, so that cuts out a lot. I have my degree in nutrition, and so I know what it does to your body, and I just, like, why? I'd rather have a cookie. And I am deathly afraid of vomit. Deathly afraid. I hate vomit. I like being the designated driver for my friends. So I know if anybody is drinking, at least if I'm around, they are much more likely to be safe. I just don't really like nightlife. I don't like being rowdy. Nothing against it. It's just not for me. I like game nights at home with like 5 friends or dinner parties. It's just what I like. Do you have any pets? I have a turtle named Potato. That's that whole question. How tall are you? We're getting to the easier questions. I am 5'7". How does celiac affect your social life? It actually does. So at restaurants, I've gotten really good at sneakily finding out what I can eat when I go out with friends. A lot of times I will look up the menu online, and if I can't find anything, I will call the restaurant ahead of time so that I don't have to be awkward at the table and ask all these questions in front of my friends and make them feel bad about maybe choosing a place that was hard for me to eat. The thing that's the hardest is going over to people's houses for dinner, because they're inviting you into their space and they're being so sweet, but they don't know how easy it is to make me sick. A lot of times I try to avoid it and try to suggest going out instead because it's actually easier at a restaurant, which is weird. Have your parents always supported you not using your degree? They have. I think probably the best thing about my parents is they have always been supportive. I think in turn though, I have always been a really well-behaved kid. I have shown them that I can be trusted through my whole life, and because of that, they trust me, which is really cool, and I really love that about them. They're seriously the most supportive people probably ever. 2 more. Will you ever choose to pursue YouTube over acting, especially now that you are making an income off of it? No, not overacting. Acting will forever be my first love. I do love being in front of a camera. I have a hosting agent, which being on YouTube is just hosting, that's what it is. So I already have agents that send me out for that. So in my mind, it is kind of a subdivision of acting, but I always want to pursue the creative side of acting as far as like the artistic side. So that's something that I want to pursue my whole life. However, I am putting as much time and effort into YouTube as possible because I see it as a means to pursue acting harder. If I get to make income like this on my own schedule, doing something that I think is really fun, then I will be more free to pursue more auditions, to make my own schedule for shoots, to be able to quit my serving job, hopefully soon. Dear Lord, please help me. I will continue to pursue them side by side, I think indefinitely. And last but not least, this is not a deep question at all, but what is your favorite clothing store? Madewell. I love Madewell, specifically Madewell sales rack because they're a little pricey. The only things I've really bought in full price at Madewell, are their jeans. I have now switched all of my jeans to Madewell. I have 5 different styles and I rotate through those. If you bring in a pair of old jeans though, they give you $25 off and they have student discounts. So I guess it wasn't full price. I still got like probably $40 off each pair, which is awesome. But I love Madewell. Their style, it's like girly enough, but minimalistic enough, but chic enough, but timeless enough. I just love it. It's also one of the more like modest clothing brands, and I think modest is hottest on me. Love Madewell. Madewell, if you ever want to sponsor me in 10 years when I actually have a following, let me know. Okay, well, that is that. Those are all the questions that were different enough from each other and that I'm not going to address later in the week or haven't previously addressed. So thank you so much for watching. This is very out of the norm, but I like to get to know y'all, as I said, and tune in later this week for a little more intimate of a conversation about my life, about my path, about my faith, about my mistakes. So that'll be coming later this week. And then next week, I have another wedding video planned for y'all. So stay tuned. I love you guys so much. I will talk to you soon. And in the meantime, comment or message me because I love chatting with y'all. Okay, bye.